Welcome to the Kurlander Fake News with a Purpose. I'm Scott Kurland, and my guest tonight is, I don't know, somebody named David Watts Jr. has a little show called Town Administrator Report on this fine station. Let's do this thing, shall we? A woman from New Jersey, Lauren Odes, was fired from her job at a lingerie store for being too busty. That's right, a woman was fired for being too buxom to work in a place that sells undergarments. But in all fairness, it's an Orthodox Jewish lingerie store, and the sexiest item there was this bathrobe. A young white boy in southern Colorado was forbidden to give an oral presentation on Martin Luther King Jr. because he showed up to school in blackface. Also forbidden to give his presentation was the kid who came as Al Jolson. Lindsay Lohan may be making headlines with getting her life back together and starring as Liz Taylor in an upcoming biopic, but Miss Lohan was seen a few nights ago with her ex, Samantha Ronson. Samantha Ronson is the woman who started Lohan's downward spiral. This just goes to prove one thing for Lohan going back on her word. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 6 times, shame on me. Patricia Krenzel, the New Jersey mom who put her 5-year-old daughter in a tanning bed, was finally arrested last week. The reason why it took her so long to be caught is because she kept getting confused for Chester Cheeto. Okay, we have a habit of photoshopping our stuff on this show, but this mugshot is not photoshopped, I swear. But why does it look so familiar? Oh yeah, this mugshot looks exactly like Tony the Tiger's mugshot. Samuel L. Jackson is going after New York Times film critic A.O. Scott and claiming that he should be fired. The reason why Samuel L. Jackson is doing this is because apparently A.O. Scott gave away important spoilers for the new Avengers movie. That's right, A.O. Make upset the one angriest man in Hollywood. A man so angry that he made a curse word a catchphrase. In related news, the world's second angriest man, Clint Eastwood, tied a bunch of balloons to his house. Bill Clinton went on the Ellen DeGeneres show last week claiming that Hillary was keeping a big secret from him and he knew nothing about the bin Laden raids. Really, Bill? You want to talk about spouses keeping secrets from each other? Do you really want to go there? A family of 5 was locked in a restaurant and the police were called on them for not paying the mandatory 17% gratuity charge of a party of 5 or more. Man, Bennigan's has gotten strict. Large correctional facility in Yakult, Washington, has started a program called Cuddly Cats, where prisoners are given cats to take care of and tend for. Is anyone else finding something wrong with giving an innocent cat to a convicted serial killer and putting them in an enclosed setting? Anyone? Bueller? 2 brothers in Lincoln, England, have been diagnosed with a Benjamin Button-esque disease called terminal leukodystrophy, which prevents them from behaving, and acting like an adult. Know what it also prevents them from? Looking like Brad Pitt. North Carolina pastor Sean Harris is giving an unorthodox and shocking sermon about how parents should beat and punch their children if they exhibit homosexual tendencies of any nature. Sounds like someone needs a non-gender specific hug. Mitt Romney went on Fox and Friends last week, claiming that Obama is not fulfilling his duties of job stimulation, and he also made several other claims like, "Where's the flying car, and why haven't I seen it?" Then, hearing this news, Obama sent Secretary of State Spacely a memo to work on his flying sprocket car. Well, the prostitute who triggered the Secret Service fiasco in Colombia has now fled Colombia out of fear of what her government might do to her. She also expressed interest in posing nude for a magazine if the price is right. Sweetheart, you're the woman who alerted the presses that the Secret Service agents were paying for escorts. The price will be right. Looks like boy bands unfortunately are making a comeback with the new boy band One Direction. Seriously? This is what girls find attractive? I'll point out their flaws right to left. Okay, we have a Jonas brother, a 1920s shoeshine boy, Doctor Who, Grandpa, and I'm pretty sure that last guy was on To Catch a Predator. With each of these having their own persona, this just screams Village People, and we all know what happened to them, right? They got their own movie. Looks like Time magazine is receiving a lot of flack for their controversial cover of a 26-year-old mother breastfeeding her 3-year-old son. Inside the article, there's several other photos of mothers breastfeeding their post-toddler children, and you all laughed at Hugh Hefner when he said he was going to buy Time magazine. I'm not a fan of Miss October. She's got twins. Last week, President Obama once again stated how he is in support of open gay marriage, and a lot of Republican politicians are saying that this isn't right and giving him a lot of criticism. Okay, this isn't shocking. This just seems like a clear case of when a kid openly comes out to his parents and the parents deny them. America, I am in support of gay marriage. No, you're not! La la la! I can't hear you! La la la! No! Listen to me. I've said several times, I am and have always been in favor of gay marriage. No, you're not! It's a disease! You can be fixed! La la la! Can't hear you! There's a church that can fix you! La la la! Mitt Romney is apologizing for being a bully in his prep school. Furthermore, he's claiming he did not know that his tormentee was in fact homosexual. Really, Mitt? You didn't know that the kid with the lisp in the Leif Garrett poster in his locker, who also happened to be the president of the Shakespeare Society and the fashion squad, was gay? Are you serious? I mean, we've had bullies for presidents in the past, and we've had morons for but we've never had a bully who was a moron and good looking. So, with that said, Mitt, you might be our first. Thank God I am voting for Urkel. We will be right back. A war in our school systems is occurring at a rapid pace called bullying. Bullying is getting worse and worse as the years continue on. But one filmmaker's documentary, Bully, is making waves, and I sent our senior anti-violence correspondent, Rachel Julian, to sit down with the director, Lee Hirsch. Rachel is here with her full report. Rachel? You totally didn't do the assignment, did you?
Of course I did, Scott.
Really?
No. How could you expect me to sit through a documentary when the Avengers was opening?
So, I'm guessing you saw the Avengers?
Saw it, Scott. I am living it.
But Rachel, I set up a meeting with Lee Hirsch, the director. You were supposed to talk about the movie.
Was that the guy who was following me around?
I don't know, probably. Did you talk to him at least?
Well, yeah, I sure did. I said, stop following me, you nerdy little spaz, before I beat you up and take your milk money.
That's horrible, Rachel. You can't bully a man who made a documentary about bullying. You totally just proved his point.
Oh, Scott, I assure you it was all right for me to say.
Oh, really? Why?
Because I am full of hate and disdain, and it's not bullying when you hate everything in the world around you.
That's so horrible, Rachel. Did you even try to watch Bully?
I did. I tried. It's really boring. And who cares if that fish-faced kid gets picked on? I don't.
Jeez, Rachel!
That was mean. That may be over the line. And there is someone who cares that he's getting picked on.
The American audience?
Iron Man cares! Pow! Pow, pow, pow!
Okay,
pow!
Rachel, stop. Okay, Rachel, stop.
You know why superheroes are so fascinating to me, Scott?
I don't know. Possibly you had a brain contusion recently?
Because, and this is a deep, dark secret, Scott. I'm not afraid to tell the truth anymore, though. I am a superhero. The mild-mannered reporter Rachel Julian is just my alter ego.
Oh, come on now!
Please, Scott, let me finish. I was sent to this planet from a planet far away that you may not know. It's called Krypton. My father Jor-El and mother Laura sent me to Earth as my home planet came crumbling to a messy end. After arriving in Smallville, Kansas, I was raised by the Kents and I moved to Metropolis. And now I can leap tall buildings in a single bound and run faster than a locomotive.
That's not even Marvel. That's the plot of Superman. That's a DC comic.
Please, Scott, let me finish. May I finish? Can I finish? All right, I'm finished.
Rachel, you were given a simple task. All you had to do was see a movie and meet the director. How hard is that?
Scott, I gotta be honest with you. Unless people are blowing up or there's graphic vulgarity, I'm just not interested in it. I have two movie watching rules: no Val Kilmer and no documentaries. This movie broke both of them.
Oh, was Val Kilmer in the movie?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
You said you watched it a little.
Yeah, potato, potato.
I believe it's potato, potato.
Tomato, tomato.
All right, you win. Okay, how was the Avengers?
It was amazing, Scott. It had adventures, it had monsters and aliens and heroism, and, it was kind of like the Bible.
Okay, let's not go there.
Okay, also, I am Iron Man! Pow! Pow, 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 explosions!
I don't know,
Pow, pow,
Rachel.
pow.
This didn't really cover bullying.
Are you kidding me? It's all about bullying. Loki has aliens come in and he destroys the Earth and the Avengers have to fight it. Don't you get it, Scott? The Avengers are the nerds, and Loki is this homophobic jock who has daddy issues, and he takes it out on the nerds. It's just like high school. It's great. It gives a really valuable lesson to the kids.
Which is?
Well, even if you're a god, Hulk can still beat you up.
I don't think that's the message we want to send children.
Or is it?
Rachel, that's totally violence being solved with violence.
No, I thought you would say that, Scott, so that's why I got you this.
Oh, no way! Captain America's shield! Oh, cool! I'm Captain America! Pow, 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 pow,
explosions! Explosions!
Rachel, Julian, everyone, we'll be right back! Welcome back to the show. My guest tonight is David Watts Jr., and as you know, he has a little program on this fine station called Town Administrator Report, which airs tomorrow night. David, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Okay, so, talking about town meeting. No, I'm just kidding. So you and Steve Mayo have a little program called...
Well, I produce Town Administrator's Report, and I co-host with our town administrator here in Wakefield, Stephen Mayo. And as of a little over a year ago, we started going live. It's a live half hour, third Wednesday of every month from 7 to 7:30. And a few months ago, we added call-in. So the townspeople can actually call into the show and ask questions and make comments or make themselves known about the issues that we're talking about.
Yeah. And why haven't you been calling in people? And so basically, you are on the show tonight to talk, because it is May. It is, and May has been known for history. I told you yesterday that I did want to talk to you because you, like me, are a cinephile.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it every May when summer movie season starts, they say that they're going to release a summer movie that is going to be war-related, and release it Memorial Day weekend, and it never has anything to do with war?
Well, that's kind of a more contemporary, because in the past movies have
Dirty
been
Dozen.
Dirty Dozen, Patton, movies like that. I don't recall if Apocalypse Now was around Memorial Day or
That
not,
was
but
August.
it may have been. Don't forget there are two versions. There's Apocalypse Now and Apocalypse Now Redux. So the thing is that war movies today, for a variety of reasons, aren't that popular.
Hey, I remember the giant space war when those aliens came and attacked us. Don't you?
Independence Day.
Well, not just that, but the new one, Battleship.
But it's a little different. I mean, growing up in the era that I did, they were still focusing a lot on World War II. There haven't been a lot of movies in the past dealing with Vietnam, dealing with the more recent conflicts, with the notable exception of Hurt Locker.
Yeah, Hurt Locker. Okay, I'll give it to Hurt Locker. Oh, wait, no. I don't have to give it to Hurt Locker because that was in April. That came out in April.
That's right.
That was not May.
That was not May.
That was not May.
But I think that a lot of them figure that Memorial Day is the beginning of the summer season, as Labor Day is the end of the summer season. It has nothing to do with the the actual seasons in the year. You know, basically from Memorial Day until Labor Day, women can wear white shoes. Otherwise, they'll suffer the same fate as Patricia Hearst in Serial Mom. But that's when a lot of the studios try to bring out the blockbusters. The summer season is for the action movies, the blockbusters. So far on the schedule, I only see one real blockbuster coming out, and that's the third of the Batman trilogy.
Well, we already had the Avengers, which we talked about on this fine program.
The Avengers. And, you know, in the same way that from Thanksgiving to the end of the year is when the real serious films come out that most of us want to see.
Okay, so talking about history.
Yeah.
You have told me countless times, Wakefield does have a lot of history here.
Wakefield has an enormous amount of history here, not the least of which that Wakefield is where the rattan furniture industry, what most people know as wicker today, was invented.
Yeah.
By Cyrus Wakefield. It was not Wakefield at the time, it was South Reading. Cyrus Wakefield, like a lot of businessmen in the 19th century, was looking for a business where the raw materials didn't cost much. And rattan in the 19th century was the packing pellets of its day.
Oh.
Okay? So the wharves of Boston, it was a very active port at that time. The wharves of Boston literally had piles of discarded rattan.
So basically, we get wicker furniture because some guy's like, no one's using this stuff.
No one's using this stuff. Gee, what do we do with it? Let's build a frame and wrap it around and create wicker furniture. And for a long time, Haywood Wakefield was the biggest business in the town. And when Cyrus Wakefield financed a town hall, not the town hall we have today, the town decided to change the name from South Reading to Wakefield.
Right. So the saddest story that I've ever heard about Wakefield was a little place called Pleasure Island.
Pleasure Island?
Oh, boy.
Yep.
So basically, we're talking about a guy who had the idea to make his own Disney World here.
It wasn't one guy. It was a company, but basically the idea was to create an East Coast Disney World. It opened 4 years after Disneyland
Are those
opened.
founders' bodies frozen too?
And they chose the marsh area up off 128. It's still known as Pleasure Island Road. In fact, a lot of people will see the sign pointing to Pleasure Island Road and go, what is that? Because now it's an office park. They made basically two major mistakes. One was to put it in New England. A park like that has to be in a place that can operate year-round.
Yeah.
Pleasure Island could basically only operate 4 months out of the year.
Hey, if we were in Canada, that place would be open year-round, rain or shine. Mainly snow and rain.
Snow and rain. But some of the rides wouldn't work.
Yeah.
By the way, a local gentleman, Bob McLaughlin, who's also part of the Wicker Society here in Wakefield, did an excellent book for Images of America a few years ago on Pleasure Island, and I will give Bob and his book a plug because it really is worth looking into. But
he owes us $3 million now.
Small unmarked bills.
Or make a check payable to WCOT.
But they did try and operate it at Christmas time a couple of times, and it was a disaster.
Yeah, didn't they call it like Winter Wonderland or something?
It was in the middle of the swamp, in the wintertime, with that wind coming across the water.
It must have been freezing.
It was not fun. It was the only other thing that cold in the wintertime is Edaville.
You
down
can
in
still
South
hear
Harbor.
the crying of children to this day.
And the other problem was they didn't apply some of the lessons that Disney had applied out at Disneyland, and that is anything that had water involved, a pond or whatever.
They built their own.
They built an artificial bottom so that it could be easily maintained. Pleasure Island used the natural ponds, the natural waterways that were already out there, and so maintaining those was just impossible. You couldn't do it. To the extent,
they had a ride called Moby Dick, right?
the biggest ride out there was the Moby Dick ride, in which you would ride in whaleboats, motorized whaleboats, and at one point you'd come around a corner and this giant white whale would come up and spurt out of the blowhole and then disappear down into the water.
You were that kid who got excited and dressed up as Captain Ahab, weren't you?
No, but I did spend a lot of time at Pleasure Island because at the time we happened to live not far down the street, so we would just walk up there whenever we wanted to.
And you said the whale sank?
The whale is still in one of the ponds. It fell off the track. It was on a track, of course. At one point toward the end of Pleasure Island, it fell off the track and sank into the mud. No one's ever recovered it. Someone did recover the shark and have it in their home here in Wakefield, but not the whale. No, Moby is still underwater somewhere.
Imagine being some kid who's swimming and you're afraid to learn how to swim, and your dad's like, "Oh, there's nothing in the water," and you just stick your head under and you see this giant whale.
Not sure what kind of shape it's in. It's probably quite deteriorated by now because Pleasure Island was open from 59 to 69.
Oh boy.
So it's been gone now 43 years.
Jeez.
Yeah, 43 years.
Okay.
It's Edgewater Office Park now. Beautiful location. But it's sad that it couldn't make its way. It also provided a lot of employment for the local teenagers. A lot of the people here in town of a certain age, a little older than I am, worked at Pleasure Island during the summers, including our current town clerk who worked up there. Anyone who remembers the class of '66, which performed in this area for a lot of years. The founder of that, Sammy Donato, had a band up at Pleasure Island, Uncle Sam's Love Thy Neighbor Ragtime Band. And they were discovered by Rex Trailer.
Oh, wow.
And they were on the Rex Trailer show for quite a long time. In fact, Rex has quite an identification with Wakefield because several of the characters on his show, the actors came from Wakefield.
Oh, wow.
So Sergeant Billy came from Wakefield. I believe he still makes appearances with Rex. Love Thy Neighbor Ragtime Band, and also the Indian Chief on the show came from Wakefield.
I'm 25. I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
Boomtown was a children's show on Saturdays and Sundays on Channel 4. And it was a Western-style show. He would do gun tricks, and this is in the old days, guys. Kids, don't do this at home. He would do gun tricks, and he would do lasso tricks, and his horse, a Palomino, would appear on the show as well.
To make it talk, did they put the peanut butter on the mouth?
Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. I know it really, it wasn't too much fun if you went to the show in the summer because they had it out in what was a field at that time next to the Channel 4 studios, and they didn't have monitors, so all you could do was hear the audio from the cartoons. You couldn't see them.
So one last thing I want to talk about before I let you go, undo your shackles, let you go into the world free, is you and I both love photography.
Yes.
And
I've been doing it a long time.
Oh yeah. And war photography, you and I got into a discussion about how brutal, like being a war photographer must have been opposed to being like an actual soldier on the field.
I mean, these guys, for the most part, some are seconded to the military, and others are just working for a magazine or a newspaper. I do want to mention that one of the greats from the Vietnam period just passed away a few days ago, Horst Faz.
This is a comedy show, David.
Yes, but you brought me on for a serious subject.
I thought we were going to do a song and dance and make this fun.
Horst Faz passed away a few days ago, and if you really want to see a story about a guy with a lot of class and a lot of talent, he's among them. a lot of those guys, it's a little different today with embedding and everything else, but during World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, basically the photojournalists, what we call in the business shooters, would just hitch a ride on a helicopter or whatever and go into the battle.
You have to be crazy to do that.
Some of them were.
Like the guy who was talking to himself and yelling at things.
Michael Hare's book Dispatches talks about probably one of the craziest and best known, Tim Page. And Tim Page was the model for Dennis Hopper's portrayal in Apocalypse Now. Page, who was wounded 5 times, would literally get closer than anyone else. He took Robert Capa's edict, that you needed to get close to the action to really tell the story, a little too far. Page is still alive today, and he's teaching actually photojournalism in Australia.
Oh, wow.
But he has been instrumental, along with the late Horace Foz, in setting up a memorial to photojournalists who were killed in action.
Oh, wow. Well, David, thank you for being on the show. And
thank you for asking me.
No problem. Town Administrator Report. Where's my camera? Oh, it's right there. Town Administrator Report airs third Wednesday of every month.
Live.
Please call in. Give us something to do. And thank you, David Watts.
Thank you. Thank you
All
for
right.
asking me.
Thank you for tuning in tonight, everyone. I'd like to thank David Watts Jr. for being on the show and Rachel Julian for being hysterical like always. We will see you next month.